Hey, fifth graders, I want to review the order of operations with you. This is from assignment number 2, and the worksheet option is what I'm focused on, but you're definitely going to be able to apply this also to the task-based learning as well because they're both connected to order of operations. But I wanted to go over with you, if you brought your math binder home, you should have this page that we took notes over at the beginning of the year. For orders of operations, we made a flow map, a thinking map of the steps. And if you didn't bring your binder home, that's no big deal. I'm going to hold this up for a little while and we're going to go over what the order of operations are. And if any parents are watching, you might be saying, well, why aren't you using PEMDAS, Ms. Lucas? PEMDAS is a great acronym to help us remember like the parts of order of operations, but I don't necessarily like what it implies, and it can be kind of confusing to kids that are just learning things because it makes it look like the multiplication and division are two separate steps and that you always do multiplication before division, or that you always do addition before subtraction, and that's not true. That's not actually the rules. So while it's a great way to remember, hey, there's parentheses, there can be exponents, there can be multiplication, division, addition, subtraction within equations, the flow map is a better tool to use and a better way to think about how to solve problems with lots of steps and lots of operations, okay? So we're going to go through what the steps are. Okay, so in our thinking map, our flow map, the first step is we do what's in parentheses, brackets, and braces first. Now, you won't see brackets and braces in your worksheets, but I do want you to be aware that they're coming up and that you might see them from time to time, especially when you go to middle school and high school or when you're taking online assessments or whatever. You can see that, or if you're browsing things on the internet, you can see that. And just briefly, when we do see parentheses, brackets, and braces, and let's say you see more than one parentheses, brackets, or braces, that you always work from left to right, or if you see a parentheses within a parentheses, you always do the innermost parentheses first. But you won't see that on these worksheets, so always do the parentheses first. The next step is exponents. We just began learning about exponents this year in 5th grade with powers of 10, like 10 to the second power, and 10 to the third power, and 10 to the fourth power, and 10 to the first power. But there aren't any exponents on the work that you're doing with order of operations. But know that it's there and it's coming more in middle school, okay? Then we come down to the next step, and that's where we combine multiplication and division, and we say we work those from left to right. Doesn't matter which one comes first. If the division is on the left first, then we do it first. If the multiplication is on the left first, we do that first. If we see both of them there, we always work from left to right. And the same is true for the last step, addition and subtraction. We always work from left to right. So if you still want to think about PEMDAS, the P is always step 1, parentheses. The E is always step 2, exponents. But multiplication and division, they're in step 3 altogether themselves, and we work from left to right. And then addition and subtraction is step 4, and again we work from left to right. And with this problem, I'm going to really show you why working from left to right and having that rule in place is so important, especially when we do our very last step of working addition and subtraction. I'm actually going to work it both ways and show you that you're going to get different answers depending on which way you work it. So we mathematicians have that certain rule, so we all get a consistent answer every single time. And so mathematicians just decided upon that rule a long time ago, and that's the way it is, just so we can have consistency within solving mathematical problems. So let's apply the order of operations, the thinking map, to this problem here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 operations. So we are going to have 5 steps, okay? The operations tell us how many steps we're going to have. So if I'm thinking about my order of operations, I always do parentheses first. I only have one set of parentheses, so I'm going to do 24 divided by 12, which is 2. Now, when you have a lot of operations involved, it's very important that you slow down, show your work. You've got plenty of time to do these assignments correctly, okay? So make sure that you're going to show your work. Don't try to do everything in your head because you will lose track. Trust me, you will lose track. Your brain can only keep up with so much at one time, and then it starts to forget things, okay? So my suggestion to you is cross out what you've already solved. We've done 24 divided by 12. That shows you what you have remaining to solve. So 45 divided by 5 minus 4 times just the 2 now because we solved the parentheses plus 3. Now I have 4 more steps to do. So my next step says exponents, but I don't have any. So I go down to the next step, multiplication and division from left to right. And look what comes first. Division comes first. Even though in PEMDAS it looks like multiplication comes first, that's not true. Though that's one step, and you work from left to right. So we're going to do the 45 divided by 5 first, which is 9. Cross that out and bring down what I have left to do. Okay. Go out there for a few more minutes. I'm almost done, okay? Can you turn that down? Selma, turn it down. Next, I have the multiplication to do. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to cross the 4 times 2 out, and then I have the 9 minus left. So 9 minus 8. And then I have the plus 3. Now, I've done parentheses, didn't have exponents, did multiplication, division. I have addition and subtraction left. And I'm supposed to do that from left to right. I'm going to do it correctly first, okay? So I see both subtraction and addition, and subtraction on the left. I'm going to do it first. I'm going to do 9 minus 8, which is 1. Mark that out, and I have just plus 3 left. What's 1 plus 3? It's 4, okay? That is the correct answer to this problem, okay? Now, what if I decided that, hey, does it really matter? Addition, subtraction. If I'm looking at PEMDAS, it looks like addition should go first. What if I assumed that? Okay? What if when I came to 9 minus 8 plus 3, this step, and I'm like, I'm going to do addition first. What's 8 plus 3? 11. What's 9 minus 11? Let's get our fingers out. I have 9. I try to take away 11 fingers. I don't have 11 fingers to take. I'm actually thinking, if I'm thinking on a number line, if I have 9 out here, you guys see that? I have 9 out here, and I need to go back 11. Well, if I go back 9, I'm at 0. I still have to go back 2 more, and I'll be at -2. I hope that you realize and understand that 4 and -2 are 2 different values. One is positive and one is negative. Let's say this is money. This is $4 that you still have in your pocket. -2 means, hey, you borrowed some money from somebody and you owe it to somebody, right? So order of operations is important, and it's important that you follow the steps accurately and precisely. So when you're working on these sheets, make sure that you are following the order of operations. They give you some room there to show your work and to show your thinking. Do it right. It's better to do it right the first time than to have to redo it again a second time, especially when you know how to do it. On number 2 here, you have to actually put the parentheses to make the equation true. That's kind of fun. I want to do those problems because it's like solving an even harder puzzle, and I like to solve puzzles there, so you can play around with those. As always, the challenge problems, these with the lightning bolts are challenge problems. You don't have to do them, but I definitely encourage you to do them if you find the rest of this super easy to do, okay? And then you have another page of order of operations to do as well, and more inserting the parentheses. Now, assignment 2, option 2, the task-based learning. also is using operations and parentheses, and you kind of get to make up some of um, your own equations to get certain amounts and things that way. So that's kind of fun, especially if you like to be creative. Okay, so hopefully that helps you review order of operations. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I will get back with you. And I hope you have a great day. See you later.